So I just saw all the Hair by Chrissy drama, and it reminded me of this time that I got my hair done when I was in college. So I was like 19, and at the time, my parents would pay for me to get my hair done still. Which I know I'm so fortunate to have had them do that. But anyway, my parents would pay for me to get my hair done, and I would really only get it done like once or twice a year. But all throughout college, I had like a blonde balayage in my hair, right? And I would get like progressively lighter or darker with it, but I always just had like some kind of like a blonde highlight going on for like the entirety of college. Now at this point, I was kind of over the blonde. I had been dyeing it blonde at that point, I think for like 2 years, and it just, every time I would go to the salon was not coming out to be like the color I wanted it to be. Like anybody who's ever been blonde knows that it's like such a struggle to get it like as bright as you want it to be, and then like you get into like the purple shampoo thing, and then it's just like never necessarily the color you want, like no matter how many times like you go back and you dye it. And like especially because I was only going twice a year because my parents were paying for it for me, like I didn't have the money to be like going back every month to make it like the color that I wanted. And so I decided to dye my hair brown or darker so that it would be like more manageable for me. And I hit up like a new stylist, decided to try a different salon, and I'm looking at like all of his stuff. He was like one of those blonding experts, but like he had other things on his profile as well. And I was like, listen, like I think I want to go brown. How much would it be for me to go brown? Because again, like I always took into account like how much it was gonna cost for my parents, obviously, because at that point, like I'm not paying for my hair. I'm 19, okay? So he's like, oh, it'll be around like $90. So I'm thinking, okay, like if it's $90, like plus tip, I'll probably walk out of there like 120, maybe a little bit more, like depending on like what's going on. And he was like, yeah, like for like, you know, like wash, dye, blowout, just to have you go brown, whatever, it'll be like 90. So I go in and I've got like this certain idea it's gonna be like around 90. I'm not really expecting to spend more than $200 because even when I was getting like my balayages at that point, like I don't think I ever spent more than like $250 like getting it like highlighted and all of that. So at other places, and like these were like good salons at the time. Like I know like it can be a little bit more expensive now. Like I've seen people say like they spend like $400 or $500 on their hair, and like I get that because even the place I go to get my hair cut now, it's like $75 to get my hair cut. But anyway, he sits me down and he starts going, you know, like I really like this shade of blonde, like what if we just like left some of it, and you know, like we could put like a glaze on your hair because like, you know, I don't really want to like take all this blonde out, like you've already like gotten so blonde. Like I said before, like I had been blonde for 2 years, and I said to him, I was like, honestly, like the reason I want to get rid of the blonde is it never shows up as like bright as I want it to be, and I'm kind of just over it and I want to go brown, like so that's why I was talking about going brown. So he like says a whole bunch of things, and like I'm a teenager and I'm just like, okay, yeah, like whatever you think, okay, like still thinking like it's gonna stay the same price, right? So then all of a sudden I've got foils in my head, and I'm thinking to myself immediately, like he's gone at this point, right? There are foils in my head. Why are we bleaching my hair to dye it brown, right? Like I was under the impression I was going darker. Why are we bleaching my hair right now? And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, like if we're bleaching my hair, this has to be more expensive. Like there's no way. Like I know like a single process color to like dye your hair brown or whatever color is not that expensive, but to have like foils on your hair and now they're gonna do a glaze and they're gonna do a single process color and like all this stuff, I'm like, what's going on? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh no, like what's gonna happen? Like again, my parents are paying for this. I'm freaking out inside my head, but like I'm nervous because like all of this happened like so quickly. So then like, you know, they rinsed me, they put like the glaze in my hair, whatever. I'm sitting in front of the mirror. I am blonder than I was before. Like there are parts of my hair in front of this mirror that are like platinum blonde, which is what I would have wanted like 6 months before when I got my hair done like for the summer, right? But like at this point, I'm sitting there and I wanted brown hair and I've got platinum blonde pieces in my hair and like it wasn't darker at all. So then I go up to the cash register and like my dad is paying for it for me and it's like nearly $500. So he looks at the guy and he's like, you told my daughter it was gonna be like $90. And I had like, you know, like Instagram receipts of the guy saying that it was gonna be like $90. And he's like, well, like we did this, 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 and this. And he's like, no, but like you talked to her like over the phone and you said that it was gonna be $90. And then like you came in here and like you basically bamboozled her into getting all these extra services and making it like higher because you took advantage of the fact that she's like young and wasn't gonna like ask a whole bunch of questions. And he was like, no, well, like, this is just the price of our services. And my dad's getting, like, kind of agitated. And he's just like, all right, like, whatever. Like, gives him his credit card, pays for it. We leave. Within a week, whatever the glaze they put on my hair was washed out. So my hair, like, from here, well, okay, so, like, the roots were still brown to here. Like, from here down, like, platinum blonde hair, right? And then, like, certain parts of it were brassy. And I was, like, so disappointed because I knew, like, I wasn't going to ask my parents to take me back to another hair salon, and I especially wasn't going to ask my parents to take me back to that hair salon because I was like so embarrassed about like everything that happened to begin with. I think sometimes the salon industry takes advantage of the fact that they know that young girls aren't going to ask a bunch of questions and be super picky like somebody older might. Like, I've seen women in their like 30s being like, oh, well, like I would have just said this, this, and that. A 19, 18, 17, even a 20-year-old girl isn't going to sit there and be like, oh, I don't like this. They're going to sit in the chair, say they don't like their hair to themselves, and then go home and cry. That's what girls that age do. That's what I even do now. Like, I don't even dye my hair anymore. But that's not even the point. Like, so I feel for the hair by Chrissy girl because